Hello there, we are Geeks Assembled and we have gathered here again today. And it's movie night again. And we don't say movie night that much, but we should start calling it movie night. And we're going to go and take a look at Singing in the Rain. Yes. And Lee Wilson, he very kindly said he would sing us the famous song of the film. So go ahead, Lee.
Hold on a minute. I'm not singing because I can't sing, and Alid has proved it in the past that he can't sing either. So, do you want me to talk about my
opening thoughts? Yeah, opening thoughts.
Well, this is classed as one of the greatest musicals of the era, co-directed by Gene Kelly. See, you either had the Gene Kelly side or you was the Fred Astaire side. Fred Astaire was the suave, suit bow tie dancer. Gene Kelly was the bruiser dancer, shall we say. He was the more, manly dancer. But to me, both of them were on the top game. And with Gene Kelly, you're just watching this movie, you can see the amount of work they put into this with the choreography. It's amazing. You got Debbie Reynolds, a very young Debbie Reynolds. I don't know if this was one of her first movie roles, but she must have been only about 19, 20 in this. And you got Donald O'Connor, which just brilliant. Those three on screen, awesome. You've got some very classic songs in this. It's Singing in the Rain, Good Morning, Good Morning, Make 'Em Laugh. Now, that is a brilliant part of the movie, that Make 'Em Laugh. But I sat down and watched this yesterday, and I realised I've never seen this movie before. I've seen clips. So if I put all the clips together, I most probably have seen about 40 minutes of it, you know what I mean? But I sat down, watched it, and I thought, brilliant movie. It's a feel-good movie. It's funny in places. It's meant to be funny. And I think the 1950s was the heyday of the musicals. After the 1940s of the black and white World War sort of movies, people needed at that time, wanted to feel good, and the musicals did it. And it made everybody just feel good watching these sort of movies. So yeah, I enjoyed this movie from beginning to end. Performances in this was brilliant. So that's my opening thoughts.
And let's go to Susie and Edwin for their opening thoughts.
First of all, to those of you watching, I'm sorry that I'm like this, but I only have a 4-foot cord on my charger, and the power went out. So that's why I'm like this. And this is my dog, Edwin, who's just tired. We loved the movie. We give it 4 paws up. No, everything Lee said, it's perfection. Singing in the Rain is perfection. It's the standard by which to judge all movie musicals by. He already discussed the difference between Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly had a better butt, and he was much more manly. And I love Fred Astaire too, but Gene Kelly just makes you swoon. So, and Fred Astaire just makes you blown away by dancing equally. This movie was paced immaculately. Some of the others that Gene Kelly did, like American in Paris, bore me at times just because it's so long in sections. This particular movie is very fast-paced, and all of the 3 main characters are, of course, fabulous. Donald O'Connor is fabulous, make him laugh. Yeah, Edwin likes Donald O'Connor. And but all of the minor characters are equally as good. The woman playing Lena is hysterical. Even the minor characters in the dance scenes who have little moments, they're all fabulous. Of course, that was back in the day when people had contracts and they did movies over and over again, so there was a sense of ensembles and stuff. I think the BBC does this a lot more. They use the same actors over and over. Americans don't do that anymore. Anyway, those are my opening thoughts. The bloody thing is perfection. Move on. I'm just trying to...
And now let's go on over to Alex and Susan. Go ahead, Alex and Susan, for opening thoughts.
Okay, well, yes, I was wondering about that too. Of course, I've seen this movie, 60 times, and of course, it is a very good musical. There's a couple of other ones that are also good, but
Frozen's a very good musical.
well, I'm talking about with actual people. Uh, yeah, I was thinking about Fred Astaire as well. He's a good dancer, a very good dancer, and of course he had Ginger Rogers, so that's a little different. And he also did a few stunts, but he didn't do as many as Gene Kelly, and Gene Kelly was more relatable, and Gene Kelly also did the dancing with Jerry Mouse and all that. So I'm not quite so sure. I was watching the movie and I said, okay, I'm thinking of it in terms of plot, so I guess it was the first reality show within a movie within a press kit or whatever, and then you see the woman at the beginning of the movie that was also in the Batman TV show as what was her name, Anne Harriet, and then you have Rita Moreno, who I think is the only one alive now. For about a minute in the movie, she's in it, and then you had the other famous dancers, Sid Charisse, the woman dancer. Sorry about that, about the pronunciation. So it was very interesting that it seemed like there was many levels, and I don't know if it was partially a cartoon, partially a dream sequence, partially a movie, a musical, trying to do all that at once. And then what's her name, Lena? I don't know if that was like making fun of Marilyn Monroe or not. So it's kind of like, well, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it or if I'm not. But as I said, I mean, the musical numbers are great. I mean, even I was thinking, I said, wow, they're even dancing backwards in this movie. They're dancing backwards. You don't see too many of the characters actually walk. They're either dancing, jumping, walk dancing is very, it is good. But I said, wow, it's so different compared to now. Now you wouldn't be having the fancy clothes and the little bit of ballet with the dancing. It'd be so urban now. It'd be more like West Side Story, maybe even worse than that. But I've always liked the movie. Donald O'Connor is hilarious. I guess he's the comic relief in the whole, well, except for Lena, is comic relief in the whole, movie. And he's dancing backwards as well while he's walking. And then the amazing sequence and make him laugh when he's running up and he does a somersault on his feet. You know how he's running up in the set. And I'm like, was that real or did they add something to that? But yeah, it is a great movie.
Thanks. I thought it was really romantic. I thought it was an incredibly sweet story, and I loved the romance between Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds. Like, that was sweet. It was I mean, once Lena, once they had a chance to be with each other alone for a while without Lena there, it worked out really well. And so that was fun. And the other thing that I liked about the thing was I enjoyed the songs. The songs are catchy. The Good Morning song has been running through my head all morning, actually, until right now. And I mean, it's like, good morning, it's good to have a morning, it's good to stay up late, good morning to you. Yeah, so I mean, that was fun. And I'm sure Susie can do a better job singing, but I just had to do that because it's stuck in my head. It's my earworm. Thanks, Geeks Assembled, for the earworm. I appreciate it anyway. It was fun. It was great to see it. It was a sweet romance story to me, and so yeah. Back to you, Aled.
And now over to Susie with her rendition of Good Morning, Good Morning. Go ahead, Susie. No, but I'm only joking. Put you on the spot there. And let's go over to, I think, well, I'm a bit confused if he's Beef Dad or Rapunzel with that tower in the background. Let's go over to Germany with Beef Dad. Can no one see the tower, Rapunzel's tower in the background?
You can just call me sir. That's actually a model of a tower in one of the German cities with a baby TARDIS next to it. Well, I will tell you something. I watched it today for the first time in many years. I have seen it more times than I care to remember. It was standard Sunday afternoon viewing for very, very many years on British television. But of course, at that time, television was in black and white. So yes, today was the first time that I've seen it in colour. And it's absolutely amazing. Love the cast. Debbie Reynolds was magic and remained magic right the way through to the very end. Same with Gene Kelly. Donald O'Connor, yeah, I loved the bit where he ran up the wall. That was one of his signature moves in movies. He would run up a wall. Just brilliant. I love the way he did it. Yeah, Jean Hagen playing Lena was superbly funny. She was. You started off hating her, and then it got funnier and funnier and funnier. And when she opened her mouth to talk, that was just hysterical. The dancer from the nightclub, well, not the nightclub, the casino, where he did a dance routine, who was there with her gangster boyfriend, and later on he did what they called a dream sequence with her, with a fan blowing the long white train. That was Sid Charisse. Sid Charisse went on to do so many films. Some of them with Gene Kelly, some with another dancer who has already been mentioned. And she became famous in her own right. And of course, Rita Moreno, very short visit from Rita Moreno playing Zelda. She would go on to win an Academy Award playing Anita in West Side Story. Brilliant actress, brilliant singer, brilliant dancer. She had it all. It was an amazing cast, a superb story. There was one bit that went on a little bit too long for me, and it always had gone on a little bit too long for me. And that was the basically the dance routine, if you can call it, but the Broadway melody plus, and it just stretched out and out and out and out and out and out. And I thought to myself, are you never going to finish this and get on with the story? But the dancing, incredible. The singing, brilliant. And the title song, Singing in the Rain, Gene Kelly was just absolutely amazing in that. How he didn't end up with pneumonia after he'd filmed that, God knows. But yeah, brilliant.
Thank you, sir. And Singing in the Rain always reminds me of Morecambe and Wise with their famous act. You must know what it is, Beef Dad.
The parody.
Yeah, the parody, obviously. Yeah, the parody. Yeah, it wasn't the actual film. Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Check it out. It's very good.
No, it is. Yeah, the parody is very good, hilariously funny. Should we go into favourite moments? I think we should go into favourite moments. Anybody got any standout moments in this film, or maybe moments they don't like? Beef Dad has mentioned one. one that's on.
I totally agree with Beef Dad about the Broadway dance thing. It must only went on. It must have been 5 minutes, but it seemed longer. It did seem a hell of a long. I agree with that. But to me, yeah, the Donald O'Connor routine with Make 'Em Laugh is just superb. The way he runs up one wall, does a flip, then he goes up another wall, does another flip, and then he runs and jumps and he goes through the set. That's just hilarious. The Singing in the Rain routine, it's iconic, that now. And just they were just so in time with each other in the dancing and the singing. It's just I mean, you don't get it nowadays, but the musicals, they must have put a hell of a lot of rehearse into all of this, because there was not out of step, none of them. There was all in time with each other. It was just brilliant. And as it said, with Beef Dad saying this is the first time he's seen it in colour, this is what the 1950s musicals, it was the colour what made it. It was, it just, bang, there you are. That is the colour.
Well, they
Just
don't
amazing.
make films like this anymore, do they? Apart from La La Land, I suppose you could.
No, I mean the musical really lasted maybe 10 years through the 50s. It sort of died off when it was coming into the 60s. Gene Kelly found it hard to get work after the musical sort of died away. I mean, but he did become a director, and he did direct some well-known films. So,
what did he direct?
What he directed this one.
Yeah,
he co-directed
this. This is well known, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But I think with him being the choreographer and dancer in the movie, you got to direct it as well, I suppose.
Yeah,
you've got to know what you're doing. So he was. But yeah, he did. He went on and he directed some movies what got nominated for Oscars and stuff like that. So it was just a wonderful film, a feel-good film.
So let's go to Susan and Alex. Any favourite moments or moments maybe you didn't quite like Liam Beef Dad mentioned?
I don't really have a moment that I don't like. I know that the just a little bit of trivia. The Grateful Dead in so many of their music movies, like use the kick step legs in that Broadway thing, and expanded it, like multiplied it and looped it and stuff like that. That it was those kick step legs are embedded in my head from years of watching Grateful Dead movies. And I noticed them right off. I was like, whoa, I've seen that a million times. Anyway, I've only seen this like 5 times in my whole life, and I really didn't have the full story, but I thought it was really sweet that I found it a really sweet story, and the moments, the sweet spot moments where the curtain going up and Lena singing, and then behind the curtain is Debbie Reynolds' character and Donald O'Connor character, and so she just kept singing Lena. So that was fun. And then another of my favorite moments was when they were first being introduced, when he was entering into the studio and stuff, and he became the stunt man, and then when he was being introduced to Lena and then he's like got the leading role, she suddenly goes from like poo-pooing him to like, oh my gosh, this is the man I want to woo right now. And you could, I've never seen that. Anyway, it's fun. So those 2 parts were great. And Alex.
Yep.
Okay, well, as I said, I mean, maybe musicals appeal more to women. I think the musical was because I know Shirley Temple, another person who passed away, 4 years ago? She was making, $6-7 million a year back in the 30s, which was a lot of money back then. She did musicals and she did tap dancing. I tried to do some tap dancing. That's very hard on the legs and feet. So that's the other thing I give credit for. As far as directing for Gene Kelly, the Cheyenne Social Club, Hello Dolly, That's Entertainment, which I know was clips of dance. It was him and Fred Astaire and other people.
Yeah.
Uh,
He also did a guide for the married man as well.
right, and then Gidget with a O, and so he did a few. I mean, he was known more as a dancer and a producer and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I love Make 'Em Laugh. It's comedic. He does great. Donald O'Connor with the running up the wall, a little bit of the curly spinning on the floor. I don't know how much, you know, again, it's no, well, I wouldn't say breakdancing, but it's a little bit of the burlesque, you know, comedy, you know, so they sort of melded in a lot of styles there. Yeah, so, you know, I was watching the movie and I said, wow, there's so much dancing. I hope they took a break. I mean, I hope they, you know, it almost seems like they're not taking a break. It's almost like breathing. It's like, wow, these guys are really, you know, there's only a couple of other people, maybe Fred Astaire, Sammy Davis Jr., that could probably even start to compete, you know, with what they were doing. So what's the other one I like? Like I said, Rita Moreno's only in it for about a minute. You have the woman from Batman. Even the producer or the head of the studio sort of got a lot of lines toward the end. And with the double cross there with the lip syncing, sort of, with Lena and Donald O'Connor and Debbie Reynolds. And I kind of went, why am I being reminded of a Marx Brothers type of humor? So they were mixing in a lot of different styles, and except for, like I said, the Broadway melody seemed a little long. I was also reminding Susan about the interview at the beginning with the theater with the actress that played Harriet Cooper. Bugs Bunny did that same tribute to Gene Kelly about, well, I started humbly and all, you know, there's a lot of sarcasm there. And then the constant, you know, how he goes from burlesque to the next level. And then toward the end, it's the, you know, the black tux with the pretty ladies in the background. You know what I mean? It's sort of up. He goes up the ladder of entertainment. You know, he goes from the, you know, from the brown shoe to Ziegfeld Follies. He goes to the black shoe, you know, that's very shined. And I said, well, Bugs Bunny did this too, didn't he? Didn't he do the interview and all that? So it's kind of funny. I said, wow, maybe I'm mixing too many styles, but it reminds me of all these tributes and parodies and homages to this one movie.
Yeah, that was great.
So let's go on to Susie for any favorite moments or least favorite moments.
Oh, okay. Well, there's just too many to count, but there's one that is a work of art, and that is the moment in the middle of the long dance sequence, where, now, I didn't think it was Sid Charisse with the long scarf. I thought it might have been a different dancer, but whoever it was with the long scarf, that sequence, it was like watching a Monet painting come to life. It was beautiful. You just can't do that anywhere but on a movie screen. Just the perfection of how he could move the scarf so that it looked like it was dancing as well, and just stunning, visually stunning. And in all his movies, he tends to do these real dance sequences because he was a real dancer. Where, like, Fred Astaire really didn't sing that much. He didn't think he was a very good singer. But so I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, it's all iconic. But my favorite part of the Make 'Em Laugh, my favorite will always be Gene Kelly splashing around in the puddles in the title song, "Singin' in the Rain." It's so much fun. That's why when we were talking about this morning, all of a sudden I just sang it because it makes me so happy when I see it. And when it's warm in the summer, I love to do that. I totally love to do that. So you'll see me splashing around in puddles in the summer rain if it's warm. Anyway, so am I supposed to rate this now? Is that my thing?
No, we're going to ratings in a minute.
Can I make a request? Can I hear a duet between Jeffrey and Susie?
Of what?
Yep. Well, yep. Off you go then, you two.
I'm waiting.
I'll just sit back and...
He says no. He says no. We'll have to think of that another time. Sorry.
You can't just leave Susie hanging.
No, that's okay. Another time. He's like, no.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, you guys. I just forgive me. I'll pull that. I'll rescind my request.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have any least favourite moments then, Susie? You don't have any moments you like?
No.
No,
I really don't. In fact, the only thing that might have, as I was watching it this time, that I thought I wasn't going to enjoy was the dance sequence, because I remembered it as being too long. But what I was remembering wasn't this sequence. It was the one from American in Paris, Gershwin, that he also did with Sid Charisse. Oh my God, listen to me. Sid Charisse. That one went on for too long for my taste. But no, I didn't have a moment I didn't like, which is very unusual because I'm very picky.
Wait, it wasn't wrote by Moffat, though, was it? So
I never said I didn't like that. He made River Song. She's my favorite character. And the Angels. 15 Angels. So, we'll always love him for that. And number 11's first episode. That was brilliant.
Anyway,
I'll have to edit this part out too.
Back to Singing in the Rain. Does anybody have anything else they want to say? Any additional stuff?
Yeah, just a bit of information. Debbie Reynolds was 19 when she made Singing in the Rain.
I thought she was.
No, he was right.
Yeah.
And Gene Kelly was 40. You know the scene where she dubbed Lena Lamont?
Right.
With her speaking in singing voice. Her voice was actually dubbed by an actress singer called Betty Royce.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was actually dubbed when she was supposed to be there dubbing for Lena Lamont. So funny.
Poor actress.
Yeah, and it was it's a magical film. It's a magical
I tell you,
it's a feel-good movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a feel-good movie. But one of the comedy scenes in it, what hasn't been mentioned, is when Lena is doing her first talkie, and they're trying to explain to her, speak into the microphone. Oh, that was
so
just
funny.
So hilarious. Rattling the pails and talking over there. No.
Yeah.
But there is something going against this film, and I have to say, big thing going against this film.
The one who hasn't seen it.
Unlike our casts, it doesn't have a cameo from Brian.
True.
Well, but isn't it unusual though? Because
unusual? No, it's not unusual. Brian's not.
Right, but what I'm saying is, for the movie Singing in the Rain, if you're dubbing Lena from Debbie Reynolds, but then she was dubbed, so it's like working on 4 different levels here. You know, it's a musical, it's a reality show.
Ironic.
Yeah.
It's sadly ironic for that poor woman who sang that not to have gotten the credit.
It's so funny. It's just so funny that
it's a black star on the musical. I will never be able to listen to it the same way again.
This was Hollywood at the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was only for what, a minute or so.
Oh yeah.
But it's an iconic minute that everyone remembers.
Yeah, but she.
If it were me singing that and no one knew it was me singing, oh, that would be awful. That's the whole point of the musical. And then they did it.
Well, no, but I mean,
that ruins it for me. You should have told me.
Yeah, but I mean, again, though, I mean, it was a musical, and as they even mentioned, you have to have the record playing, and I'm sure that's why, in a way, I thought it was realistic, because obviously, what if the record got damaged, and shipped the film? I don't know if the film and the record went all in one package. So you remember the part in the movie where the dubbing is completely off and they're going,
oh, we're talking two different sections now. Sorry.
Right, so they had the whole,
okay.
yeah, they had the woman's voice when the man was talking.
Yes.
And the man's voice when the
Yes, yes,
so,
yes.
yeah.
No. This.
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of wonder a little bit too, I mean, it is kind of funny, even for a movie back then, to sort of make fun of the movie while they're making the movie. And then they say, well, it won't work as a pirate type of movie, so now we're turning it into a musical, but you're watching a musical about a musical at the same time. So it's sort of...
And I know that you can watch it on a pirate site.
But in any case... No, but in any case, I mean, that's pretty forward thinking. That's like The Wizard of Oz, that it is a musical, but it isn't. And then one part of the movie's in black and white, and other parts in color. And so it was sort of funny that all these thoughts were coming into my head. It's like, wow, this is working on so many, different levels.
I don't think Singin' in the Rain was in black and white and color like The Wizard of Oz was.
No. But I'm saying that that's another movie that they're actually mixing the styles.
Right.
They're actually mixing.
Right. Interesting fact, though. Wizard of Oz was the very first movie to use Technicolor in it. That was the first movie to ever see when they opened the Munchkin door.
Yeah. We loved it. We reviewed that. And this gives me a chance to say, yeah, go back in our playlist and watch our early podcasts, because we have reviewed if you dare, have reviewed some of the best stuff ever created.
I'll get you and your little dog too.
But I always think our best stuff is yet to come.
Oh,
yes, it is. And what would that be, Lee? Are you going to be off for some weeks here?
You're so mean.
Very nice. I hope you know I'm the only constant on these casts. I've been in every single one.
I know, and they've suffered for it. I'm only joking. Anyway, we better wrap up because I'm dearly worried that Susie is going to blow away. It's
hot in Philadelphia. It's a fan. Without this fan,
she's in a wind tunnel.
I thought there was a hurricane just coming closer and closer.
No, it's like 100 degrees in Philadelphia, and if I didn't have this fan on me, I wouldn't be talking to you because my AC is broken. So trust me, you want me to have this fan.
Okay, yes. we trust you.
I'm very grumpy when I'm hot.
So, let's carry on for the next hour. Who wants to carry on?
Well, shall we score this? We haven't scored it yet.
Yeah, we're going to score it now. So final say and score. Let's go to Susie before I go mad. Let's.
10 out of 10,000 TARDISes. How about that? Fabulous. This is a musical that is the musical to judge all other musicals on. Period. End of story. So if you have not seen this movie and you're watching the end of this video, you should actually be watching the movie. Because it's much better than our review.
The cast. I've watched the movie and I sit in the cast.
Well, then you should go back and watch the movie.
Yes,
it really is fabulous.
I don't need to watch
it. It's classic, though. The thing is, because it's not set in the era where it was made, it's set earlier in time, it automatically becomes a classic. It's timeless. It's a timeless movie that 100 years from now, if we're still watching movies, people will be able to watch this and say, "Oh my God, this is fabulous." Unless everyone's tap dancing down the street in the rain, and they'll be like, "Gee, what's the big deal?" Anyway.
Well, I'm very sorry that you didn't like the movie. Susie.
Yeah, I hated it. It was awful.
A 1 out of 10 from Susie. Let's go to Beef Dad in Germany.
It's a magic piece to the screen. It's real Hollywood magic, and it gets a 10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10, another one. And let's go to Alex and Susan.
I'll give
The
it a 10
stars
out
of this
of 10.
podcast as ever, aren't you?
What?
The stars of this podcast.
Oh, you're funny.
Don't be serious.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10, but yeah. So I'm not.
It didn't have anything to do with Frozen or Stargate.
I'm not the star.
Yeah, I will give it a 9. Like I said, I didn't really watch the movie most times thinking about the romance. I was thinking more of the plot and the dancing and the jokes. And of course, we forgot to mention the wonderful dance sequence at the speech teacher, vowel teacher, and they even use all the furniture and everything. Moses supposes erroneously and all that. Yeah, I mean, to me, it just seems to work on so many levels. It's set in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, and most of the musicals are set in that era. You still had a couple in the 60s and a couple in the 70s, but after that, it kind of died out. But Broadway has come back. It's just a different format and different story. But yeah, it's a great movie. Like I said, I couldn't believe how much dancing. I said, wow, do they ever take breaks? I mean, they're dancing while they're walking and walking while they're dancing. It's just amazing. So yeah, it's a 9.
Can you say romance again, Alex?
No, that's okay.
Can you say romance again? Susan goes all red and giggly when you say romance. Let's go over to Lee. He's from Hull, by the way, so take no notice of his score. Go ahead, Lee.
I'm from Hull. Yeah, I'm going to give this 9 tap shoes out of 10.
Susie's now thinking, why didn't I think of tap shoes? Why did I say TARDIS? 9 tap shoes out of 10. Thank you, Lee. And, well, that's it. That's your lot for tonight. That's it. We're all off to Susie's place, where she's actually going to throw a party. So there we go. And we're going to have some tap dancing. Because you didn't know.
Come on over. Party at my house.
Yeah, Susie's an excellent tap dancer.
And yes, I am.
She's about to show you her skills right now. Go on, Susie, for your tap dancing skills. Show them how good you are.
Shouldn't she be stood on the kitchen sink?
I'm tap dancing on here.
There we go. Brilliant.
My fingers are tapping. I'm tapping the keyboard.
That's for our YouTube Red subscribers. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me, even Lee. And I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Also, tell us below what you think about this film. And as ever, look after yourself. Take care. We will see you next time.
Bye.